Why discard stadium, right? Why is it that this black market is still here? Well, PTCGO is very glitchy right now. There's a lot of stuff going on that's not right. Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the POPSICLE KNIGHT channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please take a second to click the like button if you like this video, or hit the thumbs down if you don't. Also, if you enjoy the contents of this channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. Also, be sure to look for MARNIE throughout this video. These code giveaways are compliments of PTCGOstore.com. If you want to purchase Pokemon online codes, be sure to check them out, and there will be an affiliate link in the description below. Or you can use my promo code KNIGHT22 at checkout so you can get a 5% discount. So for today, we'll be taking a look at Single Strike Seviper from Chilling Reign. Single Strike Seviper is a dark type basic Pokemon with 110 HP. It has 2 retreat costs and it is weak to fighting. Its one and only attack is Strong Tail. For 2 dark and 1 colorless energy, it will deal 90 damage. But if you played a Single Strike support card from your hand during this turn, this attack will deal 180 damage instead. Overall, it's a pretty strong attack, and because it is a single strike Pokemon, we can actually use the single strike energy. This energy acts as a single dark or fighting type energy, and it increases its user's attack by 20 extra damage for each of these energy attached. So technically, if you have 4 single strike energy attached on Seviper and you use the single strike supporter, you can deal 260 damage. But for the most part, in most situations, this one can pretty much 2-hit KO tougher opponents in the game. The Viper's HP is also a bit low, so to fix this, we can use the Cape of Toughness. And since the Viper will remain a basic Pokemon, Cape of Toughness will increase its HP by 50 for a total of 160 HP. But not only that, because the Viper is a single strike Pokemon, we also have Abomasnow in this build. It has the ability Toughness Boost. All of your single strike Pokemon except for this one will get an extra 50 HP, and this ability will not stack. So with the help of the Cape of Toughness and Abomasnow's Toughness Boost ability, Seviper can have as much as 210 total HP. So it can definitely survive a lot of hits. And since the Viper's attack cost of 3 is a bit high, we will need the help of Houndoom. It has the ability Single Strike Roar. This allows you to search your deck for the Single Strike energy and attach it to one of your Single Strike Pokemon, but it will deal 2 damage counter to that Pokemon. And for our secondary attacker, we also have Qwilfish. Single Strike Qwilfish. It is also a basic dark type Pokemon with 90 HP, 1 retreat cost, and it is also weak to fighting. I thought this is a great addition to this build since we are playing all single prize Pokemon. It can be a great Pokemon to pivot to and to soften up bulkier opponents. It has the ability Bursting Needles. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and it is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So 60 damage if this Pokemon is knocked out by an attack damage. Its one and only attack is Poison Jab. For 2 colorless energy, it will deal 30 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon gets poisoned. And I'm also gonna use Snorlax with the Gourmandize ability. While it ends your turn, you can draw cards until you have 7 in your hands. Let's now go through the rest of the deck. The first one is Evolution Incense. Level Ball for finding our Houndour, Qwilfish, or Snover. Next is Ordinary Rod to recycle Pokemon and or energy from our discard pile back to the deck. Quick Ball to find Snorlax and Seviper. Switch. Urn of Vitality to recycle our single strike energy from the discard pile back to the deck, so we can use Houndoom to reattach those energies to our Pokemon. Welcoming Lantern is very useful too, to put 1 single strike supporter card from the discard to our hand. This is great when we need a supporter right away to increase Seviper's attack. And Tower of Darkness for our stadium. You can discard a single strike card from your hand so you can draw 2 cards. This is great for drawing cards during clutch moments, but just having 1 stadium is great to bump out a stadium that your opponent may have in play. Moving on to supporters, I have 1 Boss's Order. I have a full set of Bruno. This is the best single strike drawing supporter at the moment, and this will be our main drawing supporter card basically. Especially we need to have as much access to single strike supporter for our Seviper. This lets you shuffle your hand back to the deck and then you draw 4 new cards. But if one of your Pokemon was knocked out by an attack damage last turn during your opponent's turn, you can draw 7 cards instead. So this is a really nice card to have. Next is Flannery, another single strike supporter. This will help out in discarding Stadium in play and discard a special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon as well. Next up is Karen's Conviction, our other single strike supporter, which increases attack damage dealt by your single strike Pokemon by 30 times the number of prizes your opponent has already taken. So if your opponent has 1 prize left, this will help increase damage by 100. I also have 2 Marnies because I want a supporter card to be able to disrupt our opponent's hand, and 1 copy of Sonia. This is just an extra card that can find our basic Pokemon or basic energy, especially during setup when we really need it. As for my other tool card, I also have 1 copy of Single Strike Scroll of Scorn. This is used only on clutch moments when you can't attach as much energy during your turn, and all you need is just 1 more attack. So if you have a single strike Pokemon that has big enough damage, you can have it attack for just 1 fighting energy using the single strike energy, and then you can have that Pokemon use the attack Furious Anger. It will deal 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And finally, I have 7 Dark Energies along with 4 Single Strike Energy for a total of 11 energies. And that's pretty much it. The deck list will be in the description below, but enough talk, let's see how this build works. Alright, we're going to start off with the Snorlax, so we can use its Gormandize ability. But we have a really terrible hand here. We have Karen's Conviction, 2 of them. And this is not a very ideal support card to have in the very beginning of the game, because it doesn't do anything for setup, you know? It's more of a late game supporter card really to increase attack, but right now, at least we have Sonia, but can't really use that in our first turn to set up for our basic Pokemon. But at least we have Sonia, so we can set that up in the next turn. We got Snover off of our top deck, which is good. And I guess we can use the Scroll of Scorn to thin out our hand. That way we can draw into 1 more card with the Gormandize. And I don't really want to attach the energy just yet. We might need it. So I think I'm just going to Gormandize here. We're going to draw into 2 cards. Get a Bruno. So Bruno is a little bit tough to play in the next turn because you draw into 4 cards and then those 4 cards are bad and then you get stuck. I mean, we have Gormandize, I guess. But more likely I'm going to use Sonia to get my basics. So we're up against a single strike Urshifu VMAX deck. Our Sevipers and almost all of our Pokemon are weak against fighting, so this is not a really good matchup for us. And they're using Stone Energy, which increases their defense by 20. So we'll be hitting 20 damage less against this single strike Urshifu and they're active. And they're going to use Laser Focus, which energizes their single strike Urshifu up to 3. So I think I'm going to use Sonia here, get my Houndour and my attacker Seviper. So let's put that in the bench, put an energy on Seviper, and unfortunately, I'm gonna Gormandize for 1. Cape of Toughness, that's... our hand is really terrible. We're already weak against this single striker. And then the cards that we have in our hand is just killing us, man. It's this is not good. Their setup is going great so far. They have they're on their way to set up their second attacker already. And as for us, we're stuck. They're gonna be able to knock out our Snorlax for sure. Impact Blow. for 360 damage. Unbelievable. I'm just gonna put my Seviper in the active, I guess. We can use Bruno to draw into 7 cards. Let me put the Cape of Toughness, and let me use their their Tower of Darkness. We drew into a Houndoom, which is good. That will help out energize our Seviper. And we will have to use Bruno and hope for an energy here. No, I thought we didn't get one. Let's set up this other Seviper, evolve Abomasnow, and then let's get another Houndour in the bench. This will help us accelerate energy. And let's use Single Strike Roar. Put that on our active. Although not much, at least we can attack and hit this guy for 180 damage. I mean, we're halfway there, right? Just have to attack with another Seviper, and then we have a Bruno, we have Urn of Vitality. So we're good. We can, even if they evolve into a into Single Strike Urshifu VMAX, knock out our active, we can knock it out. This one has 180 HP. So we have the means to knock it out, get 2 prizes if they don't evolve this one in the active. But our Seviper again is weak against fighting, so they're not working too hard to 440 damage. Come on, take it easy, bro. So we have 1 Single Strike. Ooh, we have another Houndoom from the top deck, which is great. Let's see. We have 1 Single Strike. Let me get rid of that using their tower, their stadium, and I'm gonna have to use this Urn of Vitality to make sure we have enough energy, and hopefully we draw into an energy here. Okay, great. Oh, we have Quillfish. Actually, we can use Quillfish. And another Seviper as our backup. And let's go ahead and just fully energize our active and just get 2 prizes from this Urshifu before it evolves, right? Anyways, the other one on the bench is already halfway there, so let's just knock this guy out. So we get 2 prizes off of that, and we get a Single Strike Energy and another Urn of Vitality. So that sets up our Seviper really nicely. So even if they knock out this active, we could just use Urn of Vitality, get 2 Single Strike from the discard to back to the deck, attach 1 energy to our Seviper, and then use 2 of our Houndooms to knock out this Urshifu in the active. So we're doing okay here, right? But at the same time, we can actually use Quillfish to knock out this Single Strike Urshifu, because it only has a few more HP left. Might as well just use Quillfish. And if they attack into it, they'll just get knocked out. So what I could do is also use their tower. Let's see. We have 2 Single Strikes, so let's use Urn of Vitality. Get that back to the deck. Put an energy, and then Single Strike Roar on Quillfish. And let's see. I use Evolution to get Abomasnow, and then I'm gonna use their tower so we can draw into 2 cards. Ooh, okay, we got a Single Strike Energy, 40 HP, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Yeah, we should be able to knock it out because we're also hitting for poison, so that's more than enough to knock out this Single Strike Urshifu. Let's just use Poison Jab, knock it out, and that will get us 2 prizes. Get another Houndour and a switch. So now they're presenting their Tyranitar V into the active. So this is gonna present a problem because we can't attack, yeah, we can't attack with Seviper just yet. We'll need an energy on hand, and then we'll need 2 single strike energy in the deck. So 190 damage. I mean, we can. It is doable, but we need 2 single strike energy in the deck so we can use our Houndoom. 170. They're gonna attack our. They're gonna attack our Houndoom. Okay. Single strike crush for 300 damage. And that'll get them 1 prize card. I'm just gonna promote my Quillfish. There's no way for them to get 2 prizes off of this, so I'm just gonna attach an energy on this Seviper. And see what we could do here. We can save Flannery. Let me use Quick Ball to get Snover. We can use the tower again to draw into 2 cards. And there's the Urn of Vitality. Okay. We'll have to wait for this Quillfish to get knocked out first before we can use it. But we can set up our Seviper with this Houndoom already. Even before that. So, can't attack yet with Seviper. So, we can stall though with Flannery. But we'll need that for our next turn. So I think I'm going to save it. So I'm going to attack with Quillfish to kind of soften this Tyranitar V a little bit. So we can easily knock it out in the next turn if they don't boss our Seviper. And that's good. Oh, well, we have another one on our hand. So we can just attach the Dark Energy and then use Urn of Vitality to recycle the energy on Quillfish. Use Flannery and then knock out this Tyranitar V for our final 2 prizes. I was surprised that I didn't see the single strike Urshifu VMAX. They weren't able to evolve into it at all. But it is what it is. If you take out both their single strike Urshifu V before they evolve, that's a pretty good head start for us then. You know, knocking the Urshifu V before they could evolve. So now we're just facing off with this Tyranitar V. They're just gonna put it in the active to attack, but with just 90 HP, there's no way they can win this game now. If they attack our Quillfish, they're gonna get damage 60, and that's it. There's no way. There's no way they can survive an attack. They just have 30 HP left, and we'll just promote our Seviper. Use Urn of Vitality, single strike energy back to the deck. And then we can just use single strike Roar to put 1 more single strike energy on Seviper. Use Flannery. And let's just get rid of that. Strong Tail for the win against this single strike Urshifu Tyranitar V deck. A good game. Alright, we're gonna go first in this match. And we drew into 2 Quillfish to start, which is really nice. I don't mind starting with Quillfish. It's gonna start, even if our opponent knocks it out, it's gonna deal 6 damage counters, right? So let's go ahead and we're gonna put Quillfish in the active first, and we can probably put these other basic Pokemon in the bench. We have Quick Ball to start as well. Probably just gonna get Snorlax to start, to be honest with you. We can use Quick Ball. And let's see, which one are we gonna discard? Well, since we are up against an Eternatus VMAX, probably just gonna get rid of this Tower of Darkness, because Eternatus does hit for a lot of damage. Let's just switch into this, use Gorman Dice. And a lot of our basic Pokemon here, which is really weak compared to Eternatus VMAX, we're just gonna get knocked out left and right, left and right. So we will need that Ordinary Rod to get our Pokemon back from the discard pile. And Boss's Order seems to be a very important card for us to keep, since we only have one of that in our build. I don't want to waste it either. We have another Snorlax. We don't have Houndour or Snover to evolve into, so that Gormandize was not really good. But at least they still won't be able to knock out our Snorlax on their turn. They're gonna put damage counter on Snorlax, okay. Crobat. Alright, so they're gonna draw into 3 cards. Well, we have Cape of Toughness we can attach on Seviper, but our cards in our hands are just so limited. Not much we could do, really. They have a Quick Ball. They have another Eternatus V put on their bench. Not looking good so far. Power Accelerator. Our Snorlax survives. And they have an energy to put on their Eternatus in the bench. And we got Karen's Conviction. Okay, well. Let me just put this Cape of Toughness on the Viper, I guess. I can put Snorlax. We can pivot into that if they end up knocking out our Snorlax. Let me Boss's Order the Zigzagoon to disrupt them. That will limit their energizing if they don't have a switch, and we're just gonna Gormandize. We found a Snover to evolve into this Aboma Snow. So that Zigzagoon, even though it has 1 retreat cost, they'll still need to attach an energy there to retreat if they don't have a switch. And again, that will limit their that will prevent them from continuing to energize the Eternatus V. So they're just gonna continue with the Power Accelerator. They haven't evolved yet, so... And they have another energy. They have so much energy in their hand. Got another Seviper. But we don't have room. We'll have to put this Snover on the bench. Put an energy on Seviper so at least we can attack. I'm just gonna use Karen's Conviction. And I'm gonna Gormandize. I had to use it because I had to lessen my hand size there. We're a little bit stuck here because not many useful cards are in our hand. You know, this is the worst setup for me. I really don't like when this happens. You know, when you're up against all odds, you know, you got this super huge Eternatus VMAX you're facing off against, and then, you know, the cards that you just get in your hand are just so terrible. So it's like you're just being set up to lose, like, automatically. You don't even try, kind of thing, you know. You're just gonna lose. Just don't even try. So they're gonna be able to attack 150. So 3, yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Seviper survived with 10 HP. But now with Aboma Snow, it has 60 HP at this time, but it's not going to make any difference. It will get knocked out next turn. I should have just actually pivoted with the Quillfish. At least we could have... I mean, it will knock out Quillfish, but it's going to deal 6 damage on the turn. I'm just going to get 2 Houndours here. At least we can set up to attack, and I guess I don't mind they're taking our taking prize off of our Pokemon, because once we use Karen's Conviction, it will increase attack, and hopefully we can knock out Eternatus VMAX. But at least that was, we were able to stall this turn. Now they are able to knock out our Seviper. Nothing can survive now, I don't think. 180 damage at this point, but they can take in more prizes. Quillfish will go into the active. I'm just gonna set up a Houndoom line here. Not much we could do. I don't want to use Marnie because that's gonna give them more cards in their hand, and we need that Houndoom. I need to make sure that I have a Houndoom to evolve into, and hopefully we can start attacking with our second Quillfish, adding more damage counter on this Eternatus VMAX. But with their Crobat V, you know, Eternatus VMAX is just super fast, you know. Unless it faces off against its weakness against fighting type, you know, it's pretty explosive, but at least it will receive 60 damage, but it still has 280 HP. And we can lower that even more with this Quillfish. I'm probably gonna have to use Marnie here. You know what? Yeah, let's use Marnie. I was just checking before I use Marnie because we have Ordinary Rod. We could probably use that, but that's fine. We'll just Marnie. We have an energy on our hand, which is great. You can put that on Quillfish. Single Strike Roar for that Single Strike energy on this Quillfish. And now we can deal at least 50 damage plus poison on this Eternatus VMAX. And when they knock out our Quillfish, we'll deal an extra 60 damage. So at least we're dealing some substantial amount of chip damage on this Eternatus VMAX. Hopefully we can knock it out in our next turn, but we don't have any other Pokemon in our hand, so it's not looking good for us. Okay. Dreadant for 210 damage, 60 damage on their Eternatus. It still has 160 damage, 160 HP left. I may have to pivot into Snorlax and I can Gormandize this turn. We don't have another attacker, so we're in a bit of a predicament here. Let's get a Houndoom using this Evolution Incense. I can use Bruno, and hopefully I draw into Seviper. Well, we get a Quick Ball and a Seviper. See, we have one Single Strike energy, so we can conserve this Urn of Vitality later on. Let me attach an energy on Seviper to set it up. And I could probably use Quick Ball. Get rid of this. Get another Seviper just in case the bosses order our Seviper in play right now. So I'm just gonna Gormandize for 3. They'll knock out our Snorlax, but at least on our next turn we can knock out this Eternatus VMAX. Okay, they're gonna scoop their Zigzagoon. Alright, damage our Seviper. Not that it really matters, because Eternatus VMAX can just one-hit KO any of our Pokemon. But it still has 140 HP. Still has poison, so if they don't retreat it, we can knock it out. Ooh, they're playing the black market there. So we're gonna take only 2 prizes by... Oh, but we have Flannery. We can actually discard that that stadium, so we're okay. Oh, we only have one Single Strike energy in the deck. Well, we can attach another one. I mean, I could use Urn of Vitality, so I can use Houndoom. That way I can energize the one on the bench as well. And we can use Urn of Vitality on the next turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Single Strike Roar on our active. Attach this energy on our bench. Use Flannery to discard. Wait. Why discard Stadium, right? Why is it that this black market is still here? Well, PTCGO is very glitchy right now. There's a lot of stuff going on that's not right. So if you want to if you want to play the Eternatus VMAX deck and use the black market, maybe it's not gonna get bumped out. You know what I'm saying? But that's so stupid. Anyways, we used Flannery. We were able to knock out the Eternatus VMAX, so we have to take care of this one now. But I don't know if we're gonna be able to knock it out. We can use Urn of Vitality. We can deal... We might be able to deal 320 damage, actually. So if they take a prize off of this Seviper, we can use Welcoming Lantern to get Karen's Conviction. And then Urn of Vitality. Yeah, we have Karen. So if they knock out our Survivor, we can use Urn of Vitality, put those 2 single strike energy back into the deck, use Houndoom to put that on our backup Seviper. That will increase its damage by 60, plus 100 damage with Karen's Conviction, and we can knock out this Eternatus VMAX with 1 hit. But you know, with that black market, the stupid black market is still there. Red End. Oh, dude. That means they're not gonna take any prize, right? Because Seviper is a dark type, right? Okay, let's just keep playing then. Let's just keep playing. Maybe we can keep replacing Seviper, keep attacking. So let's go ahead and use this. Get Karen's Conviction. Oh, and our opponent's gonna scoop. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Alright, on to our next match. We are going first. If you have a choice, I would rather go first with this matchup because being able to set up basic if at all possible, and then you can evolve into your stage 1 on your next turn, and then you can technically start attacking on turn 2. So let's go ahead and attach an energy that we got from our top deck to Seviper. Not much going on in our hand here. We're probably going to use Bruno to shuffle our hand to get 4 cards. We're up against a water type deck. They have a Snum in their active. Unfortunately, we won't be able to knock it out just yet because we don't have any way to set up. And they're going to Marnie us, which is fine with me. I need a new set of cards on my hands anyways. We could just get those Houndooms back to our deck. We drew into a Quillfish, which is good. Cape of Toughness and a single strike energy to go onto our Seviper. So we're looking good so far. We can use all of those cards on our hand. Then use Bruno to shuffle and draw. Okay, they're gonna use Crobat. Alright, they're just gonna pass. That's okay. I'm gonna put the Cape, the Energy, use Quillfish, Bruno for 4, get a Houndoom, not much going on, and I'm just gonna pass. So on our next turn, we can start attacking with Seviper once we attach the single strike energy. And that's what's that's the little bit of a problem with Bruno, because you only draw into 4 cards if you don't meet the if your opponent didn't get knocked out on your opponent's last turn. You only draw into 4 cards, and sometimes you can draw into a dead hand. So it can be very dangerous too. But unfortunately, that's the only that's the most powerful single strike drawing engine we have right now. That's the only thing that pairs really nicely with Seviper, along with Karen's Conviction late game when you want to really increase that attack damage. I have been playing a lot of games with Seviper. I used, in my preliminary builds, I used a Crobat and also Cricket Tune to draw into, to have that continuous drawing engine, but it was always such a huge liability. And when your opponent knocks them out, they get 2 prizes for each of those. It just makes it a lot easier for our opponent to win. So I just opted to go for Snorlax Gormandize and just deal with that and put more Bruno in the deck, you know. And Quillfish has been very helpful too, because Seviper doesn't always get a one-hit KO, and sometimes it falls short of damage even when it deals 2 attacks. So Quillfish, if you're gonna pivot into a Pokemon anyway that's gonna get knocked out, might as well put Quillfish in the active, and you know, it will deal 6 damage counter on your opponent's attacking Pokemon. So let's go ahead and use Level Ball, get our Houndoom line. We can start attacking with Seviper, and we're actually up against an Inteleon VMAX deck. And I'm just, since we have boss, might as well put a big dent on this Inteleon V. So 130 damage. If they don't evolve into a VMAX, we can just knock it out the next turn. And we have Houndoom to help us energize our Quillfish just in case. And it looks like our opponent is using a lot of the basic stuff in that comes in the battle box. They're gonna Marnie us, okay. Hopefully we draw into good cards. It still has 190 HP. Okay. What we need is okay. What we need is a Abomasnow. What we need is a single strike supporter card to do a huge amount of damage. Because if we use a supporter card, the Viper should be dealing 220 damage with the single strike energy attached to it. So as of right now, Seviper could get knocked out if they have 3 energies on Inteleon VMAX, but they don't. So maybe they're just gonna retreat. If they have a switch, if they retreat, use Snom to power up their Inteleon VMAX, and then if they have a switch to switch back, they can knock out our Seviper because it only has 160 HP, exactly what Inteleon, the damage that Inteleon does. So there it is. Now if they have a switch, that's it. Seviper will get knocked out. And they have 2 Inteleons in the discard pile, but they're not going to be able to switch out. Okay. So let's put over. I will sacrifice Abomasnow. We drew into a Houndoom, which is good. I can put an energy on Quillfish. Let's just put the cape on Quillfish. I'm on a Marnie. And we have a Abomasnow anyways, so that's great. We don't need it. I'm going to put Snorlax. We could pivot into that as well and use Gormandize if we need to. And I'm going to get another Houndour. 140. Yeah, I could retreat. The Seviper deals a lot more damage than Quillfish. I'm probably just going to retreat here and use Houndoom to put an energy on Quillfish to attack this Crobat. And I'm just engaging our opponent. That way they're going to think of attacking. Because if they don't, we can also knock out their Crobat V. So they're probably going to switch into their Inteleon VMAX and knock out our Quillfish. And unfortunately, we couldn't evolve our Abomasnow yet. That will be able to increase Seviper's HP. And that way their Inteleon can't knock it out with one hit. But if they attack, they could also do bench damage on Seviper, which will just bring its HP down to knockout range. So we have a predicament here. I might just have to. Well, you know what? If they attack with Inteleon, we can knock it out with Seviper. But the only thing is we don't have a single strike energy in the deck to use Houndoom. We used our last one on Quillfish. We'll need Urn of Vitality to put one back in the deck. And that's the problem we have right now. So that's one of the things, I guess, one of the difficulties with Seviper. This deck, it requires a lot of stuff. Okay, so before we can use Houndoom, you need single strike energy in the deck, right? And then if you don't have a single strike supporter card in your hand, Seviper is not going to deal that much damage, which makes it, you know, not good. But they're just going to do chip damage on our Houndoom, which is okay with me. That way, Seviper will be able to tank one hit from this Inteleon VMAX. I'm just going to switch out, actually. And I'm going to use their Stadium to get our energy to put on our Seviper. Because, again, we don't have any single strike energy on our deck. Let me just use Ordinary Rod to get Quillfish back into the deck, because Quillfish is just really cool. And another energy. And I'm just going to Gourmandize this turn. Their Inteleon VMAX doesn't have a lot of HP left, so we can knock it out with our Seviper. And, oh, they're going to Marnie. Okay. Well, you know what? That's fine. That's going to put that energy back into the deck. The single strike energy, so we can use Houndoom to power up our Seviper. And we get a Flannery, which is great, increasing our attack against this Inteleon VMAX. So the thing is, our opponent's bench is full of supporter Pokemon, and they don't have an attacker in line. And that's going to be very detrimental to our opponent. So I still have 150 HP, which is great. To be able to tank an attack or two, hopefully. Let me discard and use Quick Ball. Let's get a Seviper. We can energize this. But first, let's use Houndoom to energize our active. Attach this energy on this Seviper. Use their Stadium to get an energy back onto our hand. Use Flannery to discard their Stadium. Strong Tail to knock out this Inteleon VMAX. Nice. So we got 3 prizes off of that. And another Seviper. And a Quick Ball. Nice. So Seviper is pretty strong, you know, in its own right. It's a pretty strong Pokemon, you know. You can 2-hit KO a lot of Pokemon VMAX in the game. And late game, if your opponent has one prize left, and you have access to all of the single strike energy, you can 1-hit KO any Pokemon in the game. Just crazy. So Seviper definitely, actually a lot of the single strike Pokemon can do a lot of 1-hit KOs. You know, it really lives up to the single strike battle style. Okay, so not much our opponent can do. We can set up this other Seviper. We can just put the... Just in case we need to attack with 1 energy, Houndoom has enough energy on damage on it, so we can use the scroll. Just gonna get a Quillfish here, and I'm gonna use Marnie. We have a switch. We have 2, so let's use Urn of Vitality to get these 2 energy back. And let's see. I'm just gonna knock out this Frostmoth to get 1 more prize. And our opponent has 4 more prizes to go, so we have the means to deal a lot of chip damage on this Inteleon V or VMAX. We can pivot into Quillfish, deal damage. And hopefully we can finish it off with our Seviper. And we have another Seviper on hand, so we have a lot of options here and a lot of backup attackers moving forward. Yeah, I don't even know if our opponent can attack with this Inteleon V, to be honest with you. They don't have enough energy. They're gonna use Zigzagoon to headbutt Tantrum. Houndoom, okay. Further increasing its attack, right? With the scroll, just in case. Capacious Bucket. Oh, do they not have any more energy? Or were they just thinning out their hands so they can use Crobat? They have Air Balloon. Okay. Do they have Inteleon VMAX to evolve into? They do not. They don't have Inteleon VMAX to evolve into. So, that's it. They're just gonna snipe, but that's not gonna do anything. That's it. Let's just... Oh, we don't have Karens. I thought I had a Karen on the discard. Well, anyways, we won that game. Good game. Alright, so our opponent is making us go second. We're gonna have to mulligan. We don't get anything. See who we're up against. Fighting and Dark. Alright, let's put Snorlax in the active, Seviper, and Snover. So we have the means to increase our HP. We have Gormandize. Alright, we're up against a single strike Urshifu from the Chilling Reign set. I want to give that a try also. It's pretty much, I think, the same setup as this Seviper. But let's see which is better. Seviper or the single strike Urshifu. I'm going to put an energy on Seviper. Let's use Sonia. Get 2 Houndours. We can energize our Seviper. We can use Quick Ball, get rid of this other Quick Ball to get another Seviper. You know what? I'll get Quillfish. And then we're going to Gormandize. That is a great setup. And that's what I'm saying, you know. A lot of players don't use basic supporter cards like Sonia, you know. But Sonia can be good in its own way. Just have to use it correctly and, you know, the right situation, the right deck build. But being that we only have one of it in the deck, again, it's very situational, I guess. So I guess the only good thing with this deck is that we have Bruno, for a full line of Bruno in this deck. So they can attack with Field Crush, 50 damage, and with the Stadium, it's gonna deal 90 damage, right? So that's a pretty hefty amount of damage for 2 energies. So we'll put Seviper in the active. We have a Houndoom to evolve into. Let's go ahead and use Level Ball to get a Quillfish. And actually we need access to another Houndoom to attack with this Seviper. Might have to use Bruno to draw into another energy. Let's use Single Strike Roar first, because if both that energy goes into our hand, we can't use Houndoom. So let's go ahead and use Bruno. Oh, come on. Give me an energy. Okay, we get Dark type energy. It's good enough for me. Let's go get our Aboma Snow to increase the Viper's HP. And Cape of Toughness. Strong Tail to knock out this Single Strike Urshifu for 200 damage. Alright, so far it's even. 1 for 1. They knocked out one of our Pokemon, we knock out one of theirs. And they're going to use Bruno. Yeah, so again, pretty much the same setup, really. But what makes our setup a little bit better is a Bomb of Snow. If I'm gonna build the single strike Urshifu, I'm probably gonna add a Bomb of Snow on it to increase the bulkiness of single strike Urshifu. Or maybe even mix Seviper with Urshifu. But you know, I'm actually having a hard time with Seviper as it is because the 3 energy cost can be a little bit difficult. If you don't attach an energy this turn and you don't have Houndoom set up, you cannot attack with Seviper, so that makes it a little bit harder to attack with 3 energy. So Urshifu is the same thing. It requires 3 energy to do that 200 damage. So I think having another Pokemon that requires 3 energy as well, so Seviper and Urshifu, can be a little bit too costly. If I add a Quillfish to the single strike Urshifu, maybe that will work too, right? Not only is Urshifu dealing a lot of damage, but Quillfish can soften up any tougher opponents because it will deal damage if they knock it out. But this deck is no good against Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. I fought a few, and it's just, you know, it's no good. I don't have a Mew in this deck because I'm preparing for the rotation, but we're just gonna have to deal with it then, I guess. I'm gonna use their stadium to draw into more cards. We don't need another Bomb of Snow anyways. And let's see, I'm just gonna use Karen's Conviction here to knock out this Urshifu for 220 damage. Great. Draw into another card. Single strike energy. That can go into Quillfish. We still have 100 HP on our Seviper. So we're doing pretty good here. I think we got this. There's the single strike. I guess one of the good thing about Seviper is that it's a basic Pokemon. I think what makes single strike Urshifu a little bit more difficult to work with is because it is a stage 1. You have to evolve into it, and finding the evolution for it could be a little bit difficult. But compared to Seviper, I think Urshifu is also good in that as long as you have damage counter on it, you can continually hit for 200 plus damage. But Seviper, you need to use a single strike supporter card to deal a lot of damage. But if you don't have a single strike supporter card, then you can't deal that much damage. They're gonna retreat. They're not able to attack. They have a lot of energy. They have a lot of single strike energy on their discard pile, and they need to get that back to their deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach an energy on Quillfish. Switch into Quillfish. Poison Jab. This is gonna be enough to knock out this Houndour because of the poison. And now if they attack into our Quillfish, that's gonna deal damage counters on it. And we can set up, that will set up for our Seviper and easily knock out the single strike Urshifu V. It's not a VMAX, right? It's not a VMAX. This single strike Urshifu, this dark single strike Urshifu. Just call it that. Dark single strike Urshifu. It's a long name. Yeah, there's the Bruno, but because they have Urn of Vitality. And another one. Okay. So now they can energize this Urshifu. Yeah, they were only able to draw 4 cards off of their Bruno because Quillfish attacked, damaged their Houndour for 50. But what knocked it out was the poison. So Bruno's the effect of Bruno doesn't doesn't apply because your Pokemon has to be knocked out by a damage from an attack. It was poison damage. It's not full fish damage. So, all right, and that's gonna be it for this Urshifu. We can just knock it out. Let's just use Houndour. It has 40 HP anyways. We can even use Urn of Vitality. Or you know what? Let's just use Single Strike Roar to get that last Single Strike energy onto Houndour. That will increase its attack. Let's set up another Seviper and put an energy on it. And I'm just gonna bite for 40 to knock out this Urshifu with Houndour. There you go. Houndour against Single Strike Urshifu. So they have another Urshifu to switch into, but they need to energize it. Okay, they're gonna draw into more cards with their Stadium. Evolution Incense. Probably set up another Urshifu. There it is. I gotta admit though, our opponent is doing pretty well with their setup for the most part. And they're using Capture Energy. I'm gonna remember that if I make a deck off of this Single Strike Urshifu. Capture Energy is good to set up your next Urshifu. And with that, they can knock out our Houndour, but we have Seviper. We can use Bruno and just knock out this Urshifu. We can use Urn of Vitality. Get these two energies back to our deck. Single Strike Roar. We can prep our second Seviper in the bench. Then we could use Flannery or Bruno. Either one. We just knock out this Urshifu. I'm just going to use Bruno. That will help us to have more cards available. We got another Seviper to set up. We can even put another energy on it. So we have 3 attackers all lined up. Use their Stadium. Evolution Incense, not that we need it. Strong Tail, knocking out their Urshifu for a prize. There you go. I think that's the verdict. Seviper, Seviper, I think is better than Single Strike Urshifu. Overall, I think, because it is a basic, and I think setup is a little bit faster with Seviper. So good game to our opponent, man. That was a good match. And that's it for the video. Again, shout out to PTCGOstore.com for allowing us to receive PTCGO codes to give away. So if you're looking to purchase some online codes, be sure to check them out, and you can click on the affiliate link in the description below or use my code KNIGHT22 at checkout for a 5% discount. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to click the like button. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this build and the gameplay. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicle Knight channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.